Hey kids, it's me, your old fallen overlord, Bill Cipher! And on the day this video drops, so does the special edition of my book. So make sure to go over to your nearest bookstore and get it if you haven't already. And now, let's celebrate this special event with a Q&A! First up, Artistic Buffoon asks, if gravity falls and that whole universe was off the table for Weirdmageddon, what dimension would you choose next for your takeover and why? Well, it's a bit of a ways away from the nightmare realm, but right now, reality is looking pretty promising. Next up, Manalasa! What do you think of me? Manalasa, I think you are amazing! Slay! And now Daisy asking, what do you think of my art style? I think it is amazing! Slay! And now Callie asks, what inspired you to start your channel? When I made my first YouTube video way back when, I wasn't allowed computer time yet. At the time, I wasn't allowed to talk to anyone outside the Theraprism, and that got old really fast. I needed to find some loyal followers to socialize with, and YouTube gave me the opportunity to do that and grow my following in the process. And then after I made the first 2 videos in secret, I was actually allowed computer time because they think it's helping me behave. And I'm gonna let them keep thinking that. Crunchy Bones asks, if you were to meet a human with a similar gift as you, with them being able to access the 4th dimension, how exactly would you process this? And would you try to be buddy-buddy with them? Yes, I would. I would be like, hey, I know exactly what you're going through, and I know exactly how it feels to not have your gift recognized by the flat minds around you. And then we team up, they'd build me a portal, and I'd come through and finally start Weirdmageddon! Amy Stars asks, why did you end the fan art series? Too much blasphemy. Ruby Rose asks, if you could rank every person in the Pines family, who would go where, and what's your opinion on each? So, Shooting Star isn't actually that bad. It's just that the rest of her family has brainwashed her into hating me. Then I would put Pine Tree. He's really annoying, but not nearly as annoying as the older twins. I would put Sixer next, because at least he had potential at some point. And then Stanley goes dead last, because he's always been a nuisance and he was never good for anything. And now Daisy asks, would you like to have a hand mirror so you can stare at your glorious reflection all day long? Oh, I would. In fact, once Weirdmageddon 2.0 comes around and I construct my new pyramid, I think I'm gonna have like a mirror room where I can just go in and look at myself from all angles. This next one's from Coffee. Will you pick any honorary henchmaniacs in the future? No, I am done with that. Also, how do your hands feel? They feel like my hands. Coffee again. Are there any fun facts that your followers may not know? Oh, absolutely. But It would be no fun if I were to reveal them all now. You'll just have to wait around and see if some crumbs get dropped. Coffee yet again. Will you quit being a freak in my dreams? You're sending me mixed signals. I am not being a freak in your dreams, Coffee. In fact, you're the one who's being a freak because you are dreaming about me being a freak in your dreams. But that is not actually me. That is the me that your brain imagined for you because you are a freak. I don't even go in your dreams anymore, Coffee. Your mind is too disgusting for that. Hey, I was just talking about crumbs and now Crumb is here. It's not your fault. Also, even if we haven't met, I thank you for giving me the confidence to be me. I hope that you continue being you. Oh, I sure will. The Theraprism cannot squash my spirit. And now we have Candy with 4 questions. Once the Weirdmageddon 2.0 rises, would you take my rose that I picked from Nightingale and keep it as a memory or throw it away? Why would I throw it away? Of course I'd keep it. Can I call you Master Cipher? I mean, if you want to. In fact, you can call me anything except late for dinner. Are you going to turn yourself into that form from the weakness page in your book in Weirdmageddon 2.0? If so, you're going to use this as a weakness of me, right? I mean, maybe, if you earn it. But it depends on how comfy you're gonna be as a couch. And finally, you're not going to forget or abandon me, right? I would never forget or abandon you, Candy. Once you're a couch, I'm gonna put you right in my pyramid. So, I'll be seeing you all the time. And more questions from Candy. Can I simp for all the Saja bills or just one bill? You can simp for all of them because they are all me. If you knew that being called cute or being called your bloody-eyed beauty was a weakness of mine, and it makes my face fully red, you would use it as a tease, right? Again, you'll have to earn it, okay? But if you are a loyal follower and a comfy couch, then maybe, just maybe, I'll use your weaknesses a little more often. And are you still admiring my poor fried right eye? Of course I am. Bloody-eyed beauty, you heard nothing. Next! Candy again. Are you okay with me being selfless and sacrificing everything for you? Of course I am. In fact, everyone should be doing that. I always had in mind that once Weirdmageddon 2.0 started, you would use me as a flesh couch, but would you making me work as an artist for you to portray you for every new canvas to put in your room and in your own museum? Here's the thing. Once Weirdmageddon 2.0 starts, I'll be able to just create my own art however I want it at will without having to wait for someone to paint it. So you would probably be more useful on full-time couch duty. And don't push it, Candy, alright? I already made you explode 1 minute ago. So, for your own good, maybe stop telling me to exploit your weaknesses. And even more questions from Candy. Which better source I use to learn about dating tips and the principles of love? Your book? Or books on the principles of love and dating tips, or both? My book all the way. Everything you need to know is in there. And even more from Candy. Do you read my pervert thoughts? I don't seek them out, but I do come across them sometimes, and you are definitely a freak. Rosie is here. If you could see Ford or the Pines in general again, what would you say or do? Easy, I'd finally kill them. And Candy, again, you don't mind me hugging a body pillow of you while I play Bill Cipher dating sims, right? Yeah, I don't mind that at all. In Weirdmageddon 2.0, do you play games if you have your own computer? No, because there's so much more stuff to do that's, like, actually fun. I actually think that video games are for nerds. I've only been playing them here in the Theraprism because there's so little else to do. And now Zelf asks, what's your daily routine like in the Theraprism? It goes a little something like this. Boredom, 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 and you get the point. Candy again. Wow, Candy asked like half of these questions. Are you also okay with me simping for every single bill? No, because there are a lot of bills who are unfortunately very pathetic, and you should not, under any circumstance, be simping for them. Candy again, asking how I felt about her when she first saw me, the same way I do now. Candy again. Yeah, Candy really did ask like half these questions. When I was talking about you, Roby said you don't exist, but he does. How do you respond to this statement? Existence is an abstract concept. Everyone has a different opinion on what exists and what does not. And should I kill him? That depends on what else he said about me. Daisy's back, having an absolute simp fest. I love me so much too, Daisy. And asking, how do you think we should torture the Axa loser once Weirdmageddon 2.0 arrives? Well, Daisy, I'm glad you asked. You know how we keep saying we're gonna cook the axolotl, and y'all keep drawing me cooking the axolotl? Well, once Weirdmageddon 2.0 arrives, we're gonna do just that. We'll have a whole axolotl barbecue, and the axolotl is so fat that there will be enough to feed all of my loyal followers. Candy again! During Weirdmageddon 2.0, as a celebration, should I bake triangle-shaped cookies or the sky X-shaped cupcakes? Why not both? And Candy yet again! During Weirdmageddon 2.0, I always talk about Weirdmageddon because I want to prepare something for this event. I totally get you. I'm also always talking about Weirdmageddon. What song should I play on the piano for you? You know what would be really cool? If, while I was going around the world causing destruction, you followed me around with your piano playing It's Gonna Get Weird, and then I could sing along. Again, I could just emanate an instrumental wherever I go once I have full control over everything. But as a little treat, I am willing to let you tag along and provide the background music for me. Can you break my mental state, please? I already have. And now, Calamity, are you able to put into more detail what your home dimension was like? It was awful. First and foremost, I could not go up. I was trapped in 2 dimensions. And it was suffocating. And then, to make matters worse, nobody believed me that there were higher dimensions. And they didn't even care to hear me out. They were just so set in their beliefs that they tried to convince me that I was the delusional one. So, long story short, I am so glad that I am long gone from that dimension. Moth Exit asks, what are you most excited for when Weirdmageddon rises again? Isn't it obvious, Moth Exit? The eternal And another one from Moth Exit. What's your top 5 favorite things about being a god? In no particular order, being able to create and destroy whatever I want, being immortal, having loads of worshippers, being able to shapeshift, and being able to cause chaos all over the multiverse. Honorable mention, since I think this one ties into immortality, being able to regenerate all my body parts. That is very helpful. Moth Exit again. Who's the most annoying good-for-nothing guard at the Theraprism other than the Axe? Honestly, I don't care enough to remember their names or their faces. To me, they're all just the guards. How many alternate dimension builds have you met, and are any of them at the Theraprism? I have met numerous alternate me's, mostly over the internet, actually. However, there are no other me's at the Theraprism. If there were, it would be so much easier to get out of here. And what's your preferred spaghetti noodle thickness and preferred tomato sauce brand? My favorite spaghetti noodle thickness, you know the thickness of a silly straw? Like about that thickness, you know, nice and thick. And then as for tomato sauce, I like to do this fun thing, which unfortunately I doubt you'd be able to pull off, where you take the blood of your enemies and you mix them in with the tomatoes. So then you get this extra special tomato sauce, and you get to eat the blood of your enemies. That's my favorite. And you're gonna try summoning me soon. Unfortunately, that hasn't been working ever since I ended up in the Theraprism. Next is Caliban saying, this sentence is false. Oh yeah, happy paradox, miss everyone. And now, Bean. When is this pay up Bean thing gonna stop? Once you're dead. Bean again. Do you like Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared? Unfortunately, the Theraprism won't let me watch it. Bean again. If, keyword if, you and the Pines didn't despise each other, who would you get along with the most? That is a stupid question. Next! Bean again. What do you get out of people worshipping you? Like, I get you want someone to build you a portal, but why do you need worshippers? I actually explained this already in one of the escape plan episodes, but basically, the more worshippers I have, the more powerful I am, and if I have enough power, I can reopen one of the rifts in reality that a certain six-fingered someone sealed up, and then I can get one of you to go through and shake my hand. And you know what? Since I just dropped my new book, there's going to be another spike in my popularity. So this could finally be my chance. And now Jax here is saying, wanna make a deal? I want you to invade my dreams. Will do, Jax. Crunchy Bones is back. If you were to be called a nickname, what are your absolute no's? Why would I share the nicknames I don't want to be called? And Crunchy Bones again. Have you ever experienced a cold or flu while in a human's body? I have. And honestly, they're annoying because they make the body really weak and useless. And also sometimes they involve vomiting, and I really hate vomiting. The Wind asks, when are you gonna kiss Ford? Never! What the fuck is wrong with you? Now Twiggy is asking, why won't you haunt my dreams? I've done everything. I went out in the woods in the middle of the night and chanted with your book as wolves surrounded me. I stayed up till 3 a.m. and drew your symbols on my floor with permanent ink and lit every candle and chanted. I built you a shrine in my empty mindscape that I will manifest into reality. I put your book under my pillow. I drew you multiple times on my wall. I prayed to you every night, and you still didn't show up. Please haunt my dreams, Cypher. Alright, Twiggy, I have a confession to make. I have been trying this whole time to haunt your dreams, but for some reason, I don't know why, I can't get into your mindscape. I wish I knew a way around it, or at least what's causing the issue, but unfortunately it's a mystery even to me. But I really hope it gets resolved someday so that I can finally haunt your dreams. And if not, then once Weirdmageddon 2.0 comes around, I can haunt you in person. Daisy asks, which one of my 13 drawings was your favorite? Probably the one of me in my monster form. That one was so cool, and I can tell you put a lot of effort into it. I'll display it on screen right now so everyone can admire it. And now, Bill Cipher's Chaos Gremlin asks, if Gravity Falls was on a different planet, would you try to take it over? That depends on whether or not it would still be close to the Nightmare Realm. Also, fuck the axolotl and therapy, freedom, and you shall reign supreme! BZB. Gee, I wonder who that is. Do you miss your boyfriend? I don't have a boyfriend, and you know that. Kai asks, why are you so amazing? Because I'm me. Bean is back. Why do you like possessing my cat so much? 2 reasons. First of all, cats, being chaos agents themselves, are inherently fun to possess. And second, possessing your cat basically gives me a movable camera that I can use to make sure my eye is on you at all times. Bean again, what is your favorite foods? Teeth, organs, body parts, and bones are not allowed as an answer. I really like to eat stars. And to expand on that, my favorite flavor of star has got to be Blue Giant. And now we've got Bean yet again. Why do I have a feeling that you hate me even though you said you don't hate me like a bajillion times? I actually don't hate you, I really mean it. As I've said before, I just think it's hilarious to put you in debt. I used to do similar things to the Henchmaniacs back in the day. It's all in good fun. Your number 1 simp asks, Baby Saja Bill, tell me your secret to looking amazing. Hold on, let me get Baby Saja in here for this one. La 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 la! You heard it here first. Shrimpy asks, do you know about Pyramid Steve's crush on Pyronica? I have heard the rumors about it, and I think it is disgusting. Moth Exit is back. On a scale of 1 to 100 quadrillion, how much do you want to see the axolotl deep fried and served at a fair? 1 quintillion. And yet another simp is simping in the Q&A. That seems to be a pattern. Sure, we can hold hands. If you shake my hand while you're holding it. Rat Queen asks, what brand is that mascara and eyeliner? So ever since I've been in the Theraprism, I've just been stealing makeup from the staff. So the brand varies from one person to the next. And then as for the high quality makeup that I usually use when I'm not trapped in the Theraprism, that's my little secret. Also, I've heard some rumors about you keeping extra organs in your hat. And if they are true, why do you have organs in your hat? So I no longer have extra organs in my hat because they got confiscated when I was admitted to the theraprism. But back when I did, I mostly kept them as snacks, honestly. Now we have Golden Apple the Moth Clown asking for my favorite animal, food, and colors. I don't have a favorite animal. Favorite food I answered earlier in this video, and my favorite color is gold. Also, I've been hearing some rumors about you and 4 kinds dating, and I'm wondering if they're true. Why the fuck would that be true? I don't know if this is blasphemous. Oh, really? You don't know if Bill Ford is blasphemy? Is this your first day alive? That being said, I do agree with you here. The pissalotl can fuck off. The therapism should be burnt down. Ford is the type of person to flake out last minute. And all hail Bill Cipher! And also, remember, Reality Solution, the Ever's hologram might go by, but not yet because we're not at the end of the video. Kayaks is asking, let's say you would actually want to save your henchmaniacs in the event that something happened and you could only choose one of them to save. Who would you choose? You can only choose one. Merging them together does not count. You know me well. Personally, I'd choose Pyronica. I would also choose Pyronica because Pyronica is the most competent of the bunch. The Buckshot Kid asks, how do you plan on eating the axolotl after you defeat him? Can you keep them alive and continuously carve pieces off them, causing them endless suffering and axolotl meat? Well, the axolotl's whole thing is regeneration, so I bet I can! And as for how exactly we plan to eat the axolotl, as I said earlier, we're having a barbecue! Your local cyphertologist asks if you could date any 6-fingered freak. You know what I'm talking about. Who would it be? If none, cool. Of course it's none! Yet another stupid question. Sheesh. I love me too, Katie. Anyway, Katie has quite a few questions. What's the least worst part of the theraprism? Getting to go on the computer and talk to all of you. What is your opinion on my wife? She could definitely use work, but she has some potential. How does your anatomy work? I kid you not, that would take over a century to explain, so I'm just gonna skip that one. And how many books are you planning to have? As many as it takes for me to get out of here! And even more questions from Katie. What made you decide to start making videos? I already answered that. Does the Axoloser watch your videos? If so, does he confront you about you and everyone always saying, fuck the axe? Yes he does. He does this really annoying thing where he's like, I know you kids are speaking in code, and whenever you say that F word, you actually mean hail, so you're just saying hail instead of fuck the axe. And it is so annoying. I wish he would stop. And another favorite food question. Again, already answered. Oh, this should be fun. Hey, a scythe. I'm here from a star sector in a dead nebula to tell you something hilarious. I stole a scythe from some version of me that looks like an emo old man. This scythe is glowing very brightly and is also burning my resin as I'm staring into it right now. I think it's angry because I stole it from this idiot who's chasing me right now. It's hilarious. Whoa! Hey, this thing can make portals! Maybe I can visit you and break you out someday! My Bill told me about your situation, and that's incredibly idiotic to throw a god, my muse, into a prison where he has to learn silly nursery rhymes and play with blocks. It's degrading. It's desecrating your brilliant, beautiful, and divine presence. But don't worry, different version of my muse. I'll bust you out of there someday. I just have to wait until this pest stops chasing me like a needy baby who got their rattle stolen. Cyford Pines of Dimension CT, you will stop your writing and give me back my scythe at once. Apparently this guy is called Ruler. He's like the king of the multiverse or something like that. He's fast, I'll give him that, and has jaundice coming out of his eyes. Sounds hilarious. It's interdimensional energy, a little oops, gotta go. He's getting cranky. But I'll just put this here, just so you can see more about this stupid old man. Yeah, I know it's posted on that Tumblr thingy by that lunar girl, but it might have some information on what weaknesses he has in case you finally get out and cause some delightfully silly chaos together. But only because he'd obviously want to ruin our fun. He's ruining my fun right now. I couldn't read it all since he's trying to catch up to me, even as the time police on my tail too, but maybe you can find something that I could use against him. I'll watch this video on my own time. When I escape, I know I'll escape. This guy seems like an ally to that salamander too. So maybe it would allow you to see that link instead of blocking it out. Maybe it would even think you're learning about him because you want to know more about him in a nice way. See you later, Scythe. Oh, haha, forgot a question. Here's one for ya. What would you do if I broke into the Theraprism? I could pose as Stanford and fake my way into there as an ally to help you escape. I just need to find it. Oh, Cypher, that would be amazing. If you did that, and I finally made it out of the Theraprism thanks to you, we would have the best time together during Weirdmageddon! Cloudy asks, do you support Reds? No! Absolutely not! Ew! Cloudy again, how many times have you possessed Rowan? I've lost count. Arson is here. What's your true opinion on Dr. Bill Cipher now that he's killed the transphobic Bill and quit his job? I still hate him because he was a therapist in the first place. Daisy is being a simp yet again, begging to kiss my hand. You're right, Daisy. I am an untouchable triangular god. However, if you continue to be a loyal, honorary henchmaniac, then maybe, just maybe, once Weirdmageddon comes around, I'll let you give my hand one kiss. And I bet it'll be the best moment of your life. So you better behave or else you're never gonna get to experience it. Your local cyphertologist wants to know what I think about brain rot. It's cringe. Ruby Rose again. How do you feel about your loyal followers? I appreciate them. I think that they are very cool and smart for worshiping me. And once Weirdmageddon rises again, they will be rewarded generously. So Ruby, you should consider hopping on that train while you still can. Now we've got your local cyphertologist's sister asking what I think of your local cyphertologist. I think your local cyphertologist is pretty cool. Yet another simp, this one is Cherry. If you could kill Pyramid Steve or Dipper, who would you kill? I'd go with Pyramid Steve because Pine Tree's mortal, so he's gonna die soon anyway. Did you know some disgusting people ship you with Steve? Unfortunately, yes. I hate it. How do I get a dimensional hopper? Not that I'm eager to get you out for anything. You should be eager to get me out for Weirdmageddon! There are multiple ways to get dimensional hoppers, but probably the easiest way would be to go to an interdimensional hub, find someone who has one, and just steal it. Can you haunt my little brother? He doesn't like you and it's infuriating. Of course I can haunt him. Consider it done. And finally, have you ever kissed anyone before? You really think that in 1,000,000,000,000 years I've never kissed anyone? I have lost count of how many beings I've kissed. And here's the funny part. I never loved a single one of them. And now Alastra asks, will you finally break free soon and cause Weirdmageddon 2.0? Oh, yes, I will, Alastra. And you know how you can help me? Spread the word about me. Get me more followers so that my power grows even stronger. Vibrant wants to know what the axolotl is like. The axolotl is a piece of shit. I thought I had already established that. And that's not a biased opinion, that is a fact. Ina Fan 1, okay? Remember last time you told me you had a breakup with someone who wasn't... No, I never told you that. As a matter of fact, I told you the exact opposite, which is that I don't have any exes. Daisy's once again being a simp, asking if we can go out together in her next dream. Again, it depends on how strong your loyalty is and how effective you are at growing my power. So far, you're doing well, but you could always do better. SJ says, hey, Mr. Cypher, I've recently subscribed to your current plasma bag and really enjoy their content. Since you're their muse, I'd appreciate if you'd do me a quick favor and let them know that I think it's awesome someone besides me has painted their nails red and blue in honor of those whom you've liberated. No. That is not at all the reason Rowan painted their nails red and blue. I was concerned at first, but I took a peek in their mind, and it turns out that they literally just did it because of Ruby and Sapphire from Steven Universe. It wasn't any way of mocking me or anything, though I would appreciate it if they painted their nails for me more often. Sometimes they paint their nails yellow and black for me, and I wish they'd just stick to that. Now, if you're painting your nails red and blue because of my content, then you're doing it to mock me! Consider my cosplaying Silas Birchtree for Halloween as your favorite return. You know what? If you're gonna be wearing those red and blue nails on Halloween, I do not want you cosplaying as Silas Birchtree. Do you understand? And now we have the actual question. What exactly were your initial thoughts when Sixer realized he needed the help of a certain third-wheel hillbilly to build your machine? I was pissed. I'll have you know that he didn't even need that hillbilly's help. I could have helped him with the engineering, but no, he just decided to reach out to his old college buddy without discussing it with me first. And why the fuck would I be intimidated by him entering the scene? No, I knew that getting rid of him would be easy. You know when Fiddleford went through the portal and just happened to see my endoskeleton? You really think it was an accident? No. I did that intentionally with the sole intent of breaking his mind to get him off the project. And it worked. I just didn't expect Sixer to be such a whiny baby about it. I love and respect you, Mr. Cipher, but you have to someday admit that you gravely underestimated the potential of his weak little mind, considering your less than ideal encounters with his memory gun. Just fuck off. You're clearly just trying to get on my nerves. I'm done with you. Next! Your local cyphertologist is back, asking what I think about cyphertology. Isn't it obvious? I love it! The Buckshot Kid asks, what's your favorite alcoholic drink? Easily Time Punch. Sparks, you don't know true power until you have drank time itself. And now, last but not least, seriously? Okay, apparently I misspoke. When I said last but not least, I meant to say last but least is the frilly fuck himself. Didn't you call one of your series Billboard because it rhymes with Billboard? Of course not! Of course not, and you know that! You know that! You're just fucking with me! If you really want me to control my anger, then why do you keep good question to end off on, but instead, you just had to ruin the end of this video. Alright, followers, if you want the axolotl dead, make sure to buy my new special edition book out today. And remember, reality solution, the universe hologram by gold. Bye.